Well, before we get started, I want to say a happy Father's Day to all the great, brothers out there, who's out there being a great dad to your kids. Even if you're dealing with a difficult situation with the mother of your children, and you're still being there for them in spite of all those issues and problems, definitely shout out to you. Fathers are extremely important in the community. Children, from what I've seen, that have a father around, they fare a lot better than children that don't have a father around. There's many studies out there that prove that, and just in our overall community, we see the difference when no father is around versus when a father is around. So, brothers, you are very, very important, no matter what the world tell you, because I know the world try to make you insignificant, like you don't matter. And even people in our own community try to make you insignificant and say you don't matter, you're not wanted, black men ain't ish, and all kind of other things about black men. But, in spite of all those people that say that crap, you are important. So definitely, we appreciate you being there for your children. Now, today we want to talk about some psychological things that's going on within our community. As you see that we don't really talk about the deep issues that's wrong with black people as a collective. Black people have a lot of, issues that we're not covering. See, it's easy to talk about racism, white supremacy, but we really don't talk about how we self-sabotage. We are already in a self-sabotaging mode as a collective. We can see that when you see the situation like the Clyburn situation or any other situation that goes on. And, I was looking at this particular article, and it's something I wanted to point out in this article that really, focus on that. So they're speaking here about self-sabotage. And they say that self-sabotage occurs when people hinder their own success. Yes, we do stand in the way of our own success as a community. And this is something that's global with black people, not just, located in America. Now, of course, this doesn't apply to every black person in America, because there are black people that's not self-destructive. There are black people that thrive very well, but it's still not the collective of black people. And that's really the problem. So they say when people take these destructive steps, their harmful behavior can negatively impact nearly every part of their lives, including their relationships and career. Now, of course, here I don't really get into the relationship deal, but I'm going to touch it briefly. This is why the relationships in the community is so screwed up, too, is because a lot of people self-sabotage themselves. So they self-sabotage their relationships. They self-sabotage careers. They self-sabotage anything good. Now, they're asking why people self-sabotage. That people thwart their progress for a variety of reasons. And so they may consciously or unconsciously commit acts of self-sabotage. The causes range from childhood issues to prior relationship effects. Now, we would say some of the issues definitely come from childhood, and some of the neighborhoods we grew up in. Some of them have been violent. We grew up poor. Some of the relationships could be not having a relationship with our parents. Let's say you do have your mom there, but your mom always gone to work because she's trying to take care of the house, so you really didn't have your mama there. That has an effect on you too. Racism, white supremacy has an effect on you. Watching black folks always getting killed all the time. Living a life of trauma affects you as well. Listen, we have been affected so much as a collective. I have literally seen that black people as a collective kind of get offended in a way when black people don't feel, besieged, don't feel, under oppression and trauma. They kind of get mad at it. And the reason why I say that is because I've been watching a lot of videos from a lot of black Americans, black American expats. And one thing I noticed about all of them, no matter what country they went to, they all was genuinely happy. I seen that. And I don't really see that a lot with black America that live in America. They're not genuinely happy like that. They don't seem like they free. They don't seem like they can live their life. It's just always something going on. And that's living under oppression, under a yoke of oppression. And because people in this country, especially in Black America, is so used to living under a yoke of oppression, they normalized it. So any Black person that's smiling and happy and things like that, they look at you as strange. They look at you as weird. How many times have men have said to the women, why don't you smile a little more? And the women, some of these women will say, why are you being weird? Why are you telling me to smile? See, that sort of thing. You understand? It all has an effect. And if you don't free yourself from all that mess, then you're going to stay on this course of self-sabotage. Now, of course, a lot of us had difficulty in childhood, definitely. But let me get to something that really affects Black people here. Low self-esteem. Now, they say people with negative self-image and low self-esteem are especially vulnerable to self-sabotaging. They behave in ways that confirm negative beliefs about themselves. So if they are close to succeeding, they become uncomfortable. They've been told all their lives that they'll fail. You've been told all your lives that you ain't worth crap because you Black. Your hair is wrong. Your color's wrong. Your features is wrong. You talk wrong. You walk wrong. Your personality is wrong. Your expressions is wrong. All your life you've been told those things. And you have internalized that, unfortunately. And then you got to the point that you start telling yourself that you're going to fail too. So because you have a negative self-image about yourself, we're talking about as a collective of people. I'm not talking about individuals. And because this Black community got a low self-esteem, this is how we constantly self-sabotage ourselves in every area of Black America's lives, right? So when you look at the Clyburn thing that just happened recently, and you look at those people that will go pick Clyburn, you have to think they have a low self-esteem about themselves. When you start saying that I want something, that means you don't have a negative self-esteem. That means you actually think of yourself as someone worthy to get something. When you sit up here and say, well, I don't really want anything, because you don't think you deserve anything. And if you don't think you deserve anything, nobody's going to give you anything. You understand? The majority of Black America have such low self-esteem, they still in a position of a slave mentally. Slaves were meant to make other people's lives better. Slaves was never meant to think about themselves, their wants, their needs. This is why when you have people like Clyburn himself saying, I don't want nothing. What you mean? I don't want nothing. You understand? That's that slave mentality. And unfortunately, 2/3 of Black America have a slave mentality. The fact is, you're trying to get people to change, but it's like you kicking against a bush of thorns with your bare feet with them. You're trying. And we have a lot of people in our community that's just really too far gone. You know, like they have been just actually, some of them been turned over to a reprobate mind. Some of them are so slave minded that they believe that if we can just get white people to treat us just a little better, everything gonna be all right. Those people that talk like that have literally made white people God. Instead of going to the Father of heaven and earth and asking him to do something, but you know, the scripture teaches faith without works is dead. God will tell you to do something, and he expects you to go do something too. And not just get on your knees and pray. You actually go out there and do something. You sitting up there begging the white man to do certain things for you that we should be doing for ourselves anyway. We have been given many people who's been, you know, great speakers, oracles, and prophets to tell us exactly what to do. We ain't done not a thing. You can pick whatever religion. You can pick people who wasn't in religion. We have been told so much what to do, what's coming. And y'all as a community, we talking about as a collective of people, we ain't talking about you, some of you who individuals haven't done a thing. This is why we in the position that we're in. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told y'all a long time ago, do for yourself. Had you did that? No. You didn't do it. And the reason why you won't do for yourself is because you think low of yourself. You have a low self-image. And a lot of you think that it's the white man's job to do for you. You don't believe it's your responsibility to do for you. But people that don't have a negative self-image will say, I deserve more. So I'm going to do more for myself because I'm not going to depend on an oppressor to do crap for me. I got to get it how I live. I'm not waiting for to get crumbs from his table. I'll go on my own doggone table. I want my own house. That's what I want. I don't want nothing from him. But that's when you have the proper self-image and you don't have a low self-image about yourself. That's really what it is. We've been told what was coming politically by Dr. Claude Anderson. We didn't heed that word. We've been told by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing what was coming, the attack on black masculinity, the sexuality, all that sort of thing that she talked about. Nobody listened to her. We've seen that. I mean, Dr. Amos Wilson. I mean, it's so many people that told us, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, and so many people that warned us, told us, Martin Luther King. It's so many people that came ahead of time. This is why sometimes people are like, well, who gonna be the next one? You're not getting one. You're not getting a figure like that no more. Because I'm telling you not getting it because God himself gave you all those black people and you didn't listen to now one of them. Now one. If you go back and listen to the words they spoke to you and go do what they told you to do, that's all you need. You don't need no more speakers. You don't need that no more. You don't. But the biggest problem is that you think so low of yourself that you only think that unless the white man do it for you, it's going to be all right. And all those brothers had the same message to saying basically they want to see us improve. They want to see us thrive. How with all those great speakers, we worse off today than what we were back when they were speaking. Now, the next thing, cognitive dissonance, is a big thing. As I say, people showing this behavior struggle with cognitive dissonance or the mental discomfort. You may be holding two conflicting ideas at the same time. It's a human beings like to have consistency between their beliefs and actions. Say, for example, they say you're marrying someone great, but you come from a dysfunctional family. Your dad left. Your mom went from one abusive relationship to another. You, therefore, don't believe in stable, loving marriage, yet you are continuing to plan the wedding and send invitations. So here's a work-related example. You're about to land a great client and earn more money than ever. Rather than to do what it takes to propel yourself forward, you hold back because you don't feel worthy. So you get drunk the night before the client meeting and miss it entirely. So rather than move ahead, you take action to screw things up for yourself. As a self-sabotaging can lead to chronic struggles with food, liquor. Now, we know the food issue. We know about that. That's interesting that that's attached to self-sabotage, right? And cognitive dissonance, food. Obesity rate in the black community is through the roof. It is. And I can tell you why. It's through the roof because food is one of the coping mechanisms that we use to self-medicate because we're literally psychologically attacked daily in the white supremacist system. You're spiritually attacked. And at times you're physically attacked. So how do we cope? Some of us cope with food. Liquor. Some people are always getting drunk. You can't function unless you're drunk. You drink so much you don't know what happened the next day. That's a dangerous thing. Some people use drugs. Now, our biggest thing in the black community is that doggone 420. That's the biggest thing. Some of you can't even make it without putting that nasty mess in your mouth. I don't hear the 420 man out there talking about it's a recession. He ain't never talking about it's bad out there for him. They say gambling for some people and self-injury. Let's say these destructive behaviors is they can also strip people of their motivation and make them anxious. That's what we deal with a lot in this community. Now, yeah, the two conflicting ideas that black people deal with is you want to do good, you want to see your community do good, but at the same time, you're afraid, because that's the biggest thing. You're afraid of what white people gonna think about it. They're gonna retaliate on me because I'm trying to do this. I don't know. White people may not like that. I just don't. So I don't relate to it like that. But some black people are. Why you acting, man? Them people ain't gonna like that. Like I just can't think how you can live that way. But like I said, I've been freed from that. Thank God, I've been freed. So I don't think that way. But some of us do. And as long as we live in America, it's going to be a problem. Last night, I was just sitting, being quiet, meditating, having some, prayer time myself, just real quiet about, maybe 2:00 in the morning. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks that you will never have peace in this land because it's not meant for you to. And I understood that wholeheartedly, that there was no peace coming to Black America. None. It's only going to get worse and darker days are ahead. Some of you talking about you believe in the Bible. Some of you do. In the scriptures, many times God told his people, leave a wicked land and go to another land where the land is flowing with milk and honey. But we have a lot of stubborn and stiff-necked people in our community and hard-headed. But yet at the same time, you're asking your open enemy, your oppressor, and the devil to treat you right. And even if we get reparations tomorrow, you still will be oppressed in this land. Have you not seen what's going on in this land? Have you not seen the recent pictures of all the cows that died in one day? Man, that's like some stuff out of the Bible, like a plague. Then you've seen this heat wave that is hitting the country now. Shortages all over the place. Like, do y'all see what's really going on? Your president falling all over the place. He can't walk up a stairs. He's falling off of the bike. I mean, because your leader sometimes represents some things, and this man just keep falling, and the whole world seeing him falling all over the place. America is steadily going down. And a lot of you have hunkered yourself down and saying what you're not going to do. And listen, nobody going to force you to do anything. You're freaking grown. But those who understand, because like I said, there are people that want to stay in Egypt too. They said it was better in Egypt. There are people that didn't want to leave the plantation too. Do you understand? We still have some black people who are ancestors of those who didn't want to leave the plantation in Black America. I want you to understand that. We still got those people who did not want to leave the plantation. When the white man said, you got to go, you free now, I can't keep you here. Well, master, where I'm going to go? I ain't your master no more. You got to go. And was sad to leave the plantation. We still have those black people running around, they descendants in Black America. And that raccoon gene, they teach it for generations. And what they do today, they try to clothe it into something else. But and you try to say, oh, well, it's courageous to do this and courageous to do that. You're not running nothing in America. Not a freaking industry. You're not even doing nothing as a collective here. You're literally watching everybody else get resources to check this, that, but not you, not our community. You self-sabotage yourself even here politically. You cut your own throat. People in our community scared to walk around. That's sabotage too. Pookie and Ray Ray. Everywhere you go, you self-sabotage it. Even in politics, they're not even worried about black folks no more. You know who they worried about right now? Who they about to fight over? Because I got a podcast coming on that too. Hispanics. They fighting over them right now. And they vote. They ain't worrying with you. You have literally became obsolete in a lot of ways. because you have, once again, sabotaged yourself politically by keep voting for the same party. And because you're so emotional and you have this big attachment to the white man, let's call it what it is. Oh, I ain't got no attachment to them. Yes, you do. You got a big attachment to them. You have separation anxiety. If somebody starts talking about separating away from them, I'm talking about completely away from them. Doing it for yourself. You don't want to do that. You're cloaking in something else. But when you peel an onion layer back, and I just like anybody that's so all this hardcore stuff that I'm hearing from people, and the more and more I'm looking at it, I'm like, maybe I need to have a show where people can call in, and I just want to ask them some simple questions. Okay, fine, brother. Fine, sister. What you just saying? What industries are you creating, and how are you going to protect black people? How? Because you ain't protecting them now, are you? You depending on your oppressor to protect you. Really? You depending on them that's full of white supremacists in the police department? That's what you depending on? I'm just trying to get us to understand. And I understand that my message is not for everybody. I get it. My message is to try to wake up the people who in the back of their mind was feeling the way I'm saying this, but just couldn't put their finger on it. You will never have peace in the land of your oppressor. God has not ordained that for you. The only way you're going to have peace is to get away from them. Sure. Did our ancestors build this country? Yes. Under duress, under force, under beatings, under lynchings, under violations, under breeding farms. Sure, they did. Under stolen patents. Then we got away from they behind during Reconstruction, start building stuff up. They didn't last long. They want to start attacking us again. Every time we build something up, they destroy it. Build something up, they destroy it. Every time you look at we build a whole town, they destroy it. I'm just saying, every single thing that we have done, we have built in this country more than once. Now show me a town that we built and we control in like, Rosewood or Tulsa or whatever. Show me that. That's not being gentrified right now by them folks. Y'all have to accept the harsh reality of what we're looking at in Black America. You got to accept that. I'm not one going to sit up here and just try to say things to you just to get super chats and to get donations. I just think if you're not talking about the reality of Black America, then what are you doing? You wasting time at that point. You need to be telling these people get their act together. And when you start poor mouthing, I don't want to hear it. You're poor mouthing with $1,000 iPhone in your hand. You're poor mouthing when you got every Jordan that come out. You're poor mouthing, but you looking so fly. I go to your closet, I can find thousands of dollars in there. Thousands. I can find purses probably that's $1,200. You get your hair done all the time. Get your nails done, your eyelashes done. You're always buying clothes, shoes. Trust me, you got money for all that. I've seen poverty. I got to see it from my own two eyes. And the majority of Black America is not poor. Not real poverty. Trust me, man, some of the poverty I got to see in the African continent, y'all don't need to be saying a word about poor. You have poor spending habits. That's what you have. And that's why you don't have no money. You don't want to work with your people. That's why. All these other groups come in here, they work with their people. That's why they get ahead and get ahead of us a lot quicker, because they work with their people. Even Black immigrants that come in here, let's call it what it is. They work with their people. They get in communities by themselves and they join together and work together. But we always fighting about this, fighting about that. Well, we can't, I don't like this one. I don't like that. We could never come together and work together on anything. And then when people trying to, just the crazy part, it goes back to that self-sabotage thing. When people are trying to come together and do something together, here come other black folk trying to sabotage that. Have you noticed that? Give you an example. If I don't agree with something, I don't show up and just start being against it. Because I'm like, okay, I just don't agree with it, and I just stay away from there. Every channel or conversation I've noticed that talk about travel or talk about moving around or something, the people that don't like it or don't agree with it come there and be the loudest people there. Like, why are you there saying that if that's not your crowd? Go to the people that's going to do you, right? I don't see the people that like to travel and telling people to do this, to go to those spaces that's just want to hunker down in oppression, because that's how I'm looking at it now, and telling y'all what y'all should be doing. I don't see that. It goes back to the self-sabotage. Doggone it, I'm oppressed. I'm being treated bad, and I don't want none of y'all to leave. No. And in the back of your mind, I'm gonna tell you why you have a problem with people leaving, because you know that by them leaving and you seeing them happy, that bothers you because you believe that black people are supposed to be oppressed and black people are supposed to be down all the time. That's why it pisses you off. So you try to turn it into insulting those people. You're not hurting them. You're not hurting them. You're the one being hurt, not them. They said they have projected by 2050, the wealth of black America would be zero. And I see how it's happening. Look right now. The average black person in black America can't keep suffering these gas prices, food prices, high and high inflation. The average rent in America now is $2,000. Black folks don't have that kind of money on average, unless black folks work together, unless black folks stop shopping at all these expensive stores. I'm not saying you can't buy clothes, but hell, go on Amazon and buy some clothes. Amazon got a lot of fly clothes that don't cost a lot of money. I'm giving you some game right there. A lot of nice clothes that don't cost you a lot of money. Stop buying all these name brands. Most of these name brands owned by racists anyway. They don't like us. You know how many stories I done on these people? You need to get your act together and start doing it for self. Because when they all go down, them people don't care about none of you. And the black people, they got their act together. The black people, they got their money up and whatever. Your best and brightest of black America, they the one going to be fine. And it's a day coming. I'm telling you before it happened. A day is coming that the best and brightest of black America is going to be out of here. They're leaving. It's coming. And you going to be stuck because you didn't prepare yourself. You didn't take nothing seriously. And you threw all your lot in the people that oppressed you for 500 years. And you still begging the people that's been treating you the worst to treat you good. These people aren't capable of treating you good because it's not in them to do it. I've never seen that in my life, having all kind of hope on Satan. You should be hoping in God and praying in God, but no, that's not what you're doing. You have literally walked away from your morality. You was one of the most moral people in this country, and you have walked away from being the most moral people in the country to now you doing some of the worst of the worst. You're doing every wicked and evil thing that the oppressor's doing too. You out here doing it. And you're defending it. Let somebody talk about it. Speak up against it. You will speak against them. So that's why some of you so hunkered down in this place, is because a lot of you have descended into wickedness and unrighteousness. But people that got their act together, just do the research. Still just type in black expats in different countries and just start watching the videos. Watch how happy those black people are. I'm not saying they avoid the problems. That's the next thing. Oh, well, they got problems. Of course, man, the world got problems. But every video I watch, the black people are happy. I love to see black people happy. I love it. Shouldn't you want to be happy too? Shouldn't you want to see black people happy? I mean, this place, listen, even white folks are leaving this place. White people, it's money videos of white people I've seen saying, I can't stay here no more. It's too expensive. You can't even take your kids to the doggone school without some demon running in and shooting it up. You can't go to the grocery store without some demon going and shoot that up. You ain't trying to go to the church, demon go in there and shoot that up. What kind of life are you living here? You're not living a life. And then you want to talk about, I live in the greatest country in the world. You ain't been nowhere to know what's great and what's bad. You ain't been nowhere. What you mean? You don't know what's good and what's bad? Hell, I've been to 4 countries so far. And every one of those countries I've been in, I can honestly say I was treated a lot better. Even in Turkey. Turkey is not an African country, and I was treated very well in Turkey. There is a thing called Black American privilege, but none of you would never know it because you never left this country. That blue passport garners you definitely a privilege that you don't have in this country. That's why I tell you to experience that. Go on these trips that I have, because them trips won't always be here. I promise you that. The only reason those trips were even set up to go anywhere was because of the people and what they asked for. But even that's coming to an end, unless it's just a great demand. I don't know what I'm going to do next year with that. We're going to see what happens on this Kenya trip. I know it's about, 15 people that signed up for this Kenya trip. We need to get at least 15 more signed up to go. Why don't you go on a trip with other like-minded people that want to go see things for yourself? Every black person that goes on these trips, they all say, why didn't I do this sooner? Man, I don't want to go back. Every black person that have went said it to me. None of them have said, man, I can't. I don't like it here. Oh, man, I got to get on this plane. I got to go back. Every person have said, man, I'm trying to figure out a way to stay 2 more weeks. Man, why are we staying in that place? Every black person that went to South Africa, went to Kenya. That's the 2 places we had tours at so far. They've all said, and then some have stayed behind and say, nah, we stay in the extra 2 weeks. We're not going back. Because, and I say, see, this is what I've been telling y'all in the videos. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, Brother Phil, God, man, I see what you're talking about now. I'm at peace. I'm actually feeling happy. I'm not around these people. That's what I want my people to experience. But you let these other black people just run off at the mouth and keep you in a situation that you're not in control of, in a situation that you're being constantly oppressed, and you watching the government that you pay taxes to roll out the red carpet to everybody and purposely screwing you. But you taking pride in this place? I mean, I'm just trying to help you understand, because as I said to myself, I got to start bringing more harsh reality of the black community now, because many of us have turned away from that. Many of us is actually coddling you by not showing you the reality of what we're doing. Sure, we'll continue talking about racism, white supremacy. Sure, we'll talk about politics. That's not going to change. But we got to start talking about the harsh reality of what's going on in Black America, because many of you are not seeing it. I don't think you've seen the dire straits that Black America is in. And a lot of it comes from self-sabotage. Listen, I said before, if we was all together working on one accord, doing what's right, we could actually do better against white supremacy. But while we sabotaging ourselves on every level, man, we defeated before you even get to white supremacy. Everybody, listen, do you know how crazy it is that black folks are talking about reparations, and you got other black folks talking about, what you fighting for reparations for? You ain't gonna get it. And these black folks would benefit from reparations. They will benefit from it. Do you see how asinine people are? You'll speak against things that you will benefit from. Why would I speak against something that I will benefit from? That's what I'm talking about. The self-sabotage that we do to ourselves. When Asians want something, when they were talking about stop Asian hate, you didn't have a section of Asians say, man, nah, we don't need anything. Shoot, you ain't gonna get that no way. No, all the Asians got on code, no matter where they came from. When it came to immigrants and a lot of Hispanic immigrants talking about DACA, you didn't hear a bunch of them come out, hey, shoot, we ain't getting no DACA. Why y'all talking about that for? No, they were talking about DACA. But leave it up to this community, even something that would benefit black folk in America, which we really need as a collective. You got people that sent out there to sabotage the community. That's what I'm talking about right there. We got to accept their reality, folks. We got to accept the reality. Talking about Clyburn and the CBC, they are representation of who the collective is. The collective put them in those positions to do nothing. And then when they do things to black folk, you got this, I don't even like the at least comment. Well, at least we got some representation. At least, because saying the word at least means you accept the lowest common denominator. It doesn't take much to impress you, saying at least. We're self-sabotaging ourselves as a community, folks. That's why this community can't get anywhere. And if you don't agree with me on that, well, then show me how, as a collective of people, we're not self-sabotaging. And show me how we're working together collectively. And like I said, this is a whole, even though I'm talking about America, but this is the whole black world, actually. The whole black world. Africa, self-sabotage. Caribbean, self-sabotage. That's why some of those places look the way they look. Self-sabotage. So it's a whole black world issue. But I'm focusing on America because more of you, to watch the show or listen to the podcast are focusing on that. But let me know what you think about this. Thank you for joining us today. Because we gotta bring some reality here. I can't, like I said, I can't coddle people no more. I can't do it because I'll be wrong if I coddle you and not tell you the truth. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way, when we post another one, click the like button. That's very, very important. If, you enjoy the podcast and definitely leave a love offering. We greatly appreciate that, or join the channel memberships. So we appreciate you coming by and see you next time.